experiences I've had trading the past month or so. So I do regularly, or before I used to trade a lot, and I have been in the crypto space for a long time. Been interested in the development for quite a long time. Long time viewers know that we've been like I've been interested in crypto since Bitcoin was like in the single digits, so quite early. But before we get into that, let's just play the ad.
Sawa ka na ba sa unactivated Windows mo? Well, lucky you! Pinakabago mula sa cdkeyoffer.com. Windows 10 and Windows 11 activation codes. Legit, safe, at pinakamura. Madali lang umorder. Hanapin ang Windows version na gusto mo. Piliin ang preferred payment method. Wala pang 5 minutes, nag-CDK ka na para sa Windows mo. Marami na kaming natulungan.
Dati, sudden depressed ako. But now, I found the love of my life.
Dati, aimless and walang purpose ang life ko. But now, I'm a world-class Zumba instructor.
So, web developer ako and content creator for a YouTube channel. And ngayon, ganun pa rin ako pero activated na yung Windows ko.
Kaya kung naghahanap ka ng legit, mura, at original software,
Check out cdkeyoffer.com.
Check out cdkeyoffer.com.
Check out cdkeyoffer.com. Yon. So just to do the introduction again, thanks for joining me for another episode of Cryptowatch. I am trying out a different camera angle dito. Usually, nandito sa harap ng primary monitor ko. Pero ngayon, nandito na sa an angle on the side. Just trying to be, spice things up a little bit. But the content or what we're gonna be talking about this episode is bakit tumalon yung Ripple. So Ripple is one of the OG cryptocurrencies. And last week, it jumped by around 70% in the span of 12 hours. So bakit nangyari yun? Just to put that into perspective, if you bought it prior to the big jump, so let's say you put 10,000 pesos in crypto, after the jump, let's say you sold it at the highest, around 70%, may 17,000 pesos ka na. So yun nga, medyo wild just to put things into perspective. Which is why it's interesting to follow the crypto space. Talagang, it's like, I've said it before many times on the show, it's like a roller coaster. Akyat baba talaga siya. You can go super dizzying highs and like the bottom. Sometimes when the prices are dropping, you feel that they'll never stop dropping. It's like you're in a free fall. It's like they're dropping like a rock. But so what happened last week? And then, kasi what happened last week has implications not just for Ripple. So hindi lang Ripple yung naapektuhan. It's basically why so crypto has been in crypto winter, or they call it that kasi sobrang bumagsak yung presyo over the past year or so. To put that into perspective, like Bitcoin was at a high of around all-time high ata niya mga 60,000 plus US dollars. So for one Bitcoin, I think the highest point it ever reached was around 60 plus K. It plummeted, and then a lot of things happened, like yun nga, boom bust cycle siya. So we're currently in the latter stages of the bust cycle. Bumagsak siya to around 19K, and then now it's clawed back up to 30. But before that decision, so what happened to Ripple and why did it affect everybody else? One of the reasons for the crypto winter is that the US SEC was investigating a lot of the cryptocurrencies and filing cases against them, against the developers of those cryptocurrencies. Not just the developers, but also the exchanges. That's bad on multiple fronts. One, if you're an investor, you don't want your investment to suddenly be called into question na, illegal pala yan. Or if you're an investor, you want a lot of people in the market. The more people putting money into crypto, the better. But if the SEC goes after the exchanges, the primary means by which people are able to exchange, like, I have dollars, I want to buy crypto. I have pesos, I want to buy crypto. The exchanges are the easiest way to do that. But if a government agency, in this case, the US SEC, goes after the exchanges, di mahihirapan yung mga tao na magpalit ng pera. Yun nga, may hawak, may hawak ako na pesos, gusto ko palitan into crypto without a convenient exchange to do that, then I have no means of doing that. So effectively, I'm cut out of the market. And uh, prior to what happened, the US SEC was really active against crypto. So much so that the big exchanges like Binance, like Kraken, already removed some of their functions. Maswerte na nga tayo dito sa Pilipinas na we still have non-US residents still have access to those functions. And one of those functions na tinanggal from US residents is staking. So that's relatively a new thing. Dati kasi for crypto, buy and sell lang yun. You buy low, sell high. But recently, or 6 months, a year ago, they put in staking, which is basically like putting your crypto, a particular crypto, into a high yield time deposit, pero mas mataas. You know, a TD now will get you 5% kung maswerte ka. That's 5% per annum. But with the staking of crypto, they'll give you back, the highest I've seen is like 22% per annum. So imagine 22% per annum. But the catch is you're not being paid back in fiat, in US dollar, in Philippine peso, whatever currency. You're being paid back in that crypto. So let's say Secret, SCRT is a crypto, and it's per annual, it has a staking option of around 22%, which was removed. Yun nga, some cryptos, that option was removed from US residents because of the actions of the US SEC. So before we go into why XRP jumped up to 70%, a bit of a background. Ano ba talaga yung SEC? So that's a Securities and Exchange Commission. A lot of different countries have a similar regulatory body. We have a Philippine SEC. Yung primary function ng SEC is to regulate securities. A common an example. So sorry to get like it's hard. You can't appreciate the what happened to XRP if you don't have a little background, kahit medyo technical. So the SEC's primary function, or one of the primary functions, is to regulate securities. And a common example of a security is a stock, a share of stock. Um, there are different kinds of securities. Bonds can also be a form of security. Sorry, yeah, can be a form of security, but the most common would be stocks. So you have a share in a company that is a security, and that's regulated by the SEC. So saan tumatalon yung US SEC dito? They claim that some cryptos are, some, not all, and in particular, actually, not even Bitcoin. The US SEC never claimed Bitcoin is a security, but they claim that some cryptos are securities. And they filed, and because they're securities, dapat may procedures yan. Di mo lang pwedeng basta-bastang ibenta sa isang exchange, which is what was happening on for crypto in the in the US exchanges. So you would have a coin, whether it's, say, we'll jump to my favorite. This is my most. This is my favorite way of tracking what's going on with prices. This is Coin Index. It's a site, and so I have my coins already listed here. Not that I've invested in all these coins, but these are the ones that I like tracking. So here's Secret, down -2% today. Rep is up 24%. So you just can't list, if it's a security, you just can't buy and sell them willy-nilly. You just, yun nga, parang di lang basta-bastang pwede mong i-list and then pwede mong ibenta. Because to be fair to the SEC, both the US and the Philippines, they're in place to protect the public from scams. That's essentially why we have these security regulations, kasi dati-dati unregulated sila, anybody could buy and sell. Maraming nasa scam. Like, oh, itong company, hinahype up yung company, sobrang ganda, bumili ka na. And then either the company was a really bad company, it wasn't making any money, it wasn't a real company, yun nga, purely fictitious, scam siya. So that's why the regulations are in place to protect the public from investment scams. And so that's why it's important, if a particular crypto is tagged as a security, then those procedures need to be followed, which weren't followed. Kasi yung argument nung developers of the crypto and the exchanges that allow the buy and sell of those cryptos is that they're not securities. So the US SEC says they're securities, and therefore, A, you can't sell them until you get approval from us. Yun. But the problem is they didn't get approval kasi yung sa kabilang panig, sinasabi ng mga developers and nung exchanges na hindi naman to securities. So which brings us to what happened to Ripple. Ripple is being developed by Ripple Labs, one of the earliest movers in the crypto space. Everybody's familiar with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the crypto that brought prominence to this kind of concept of a cryptocurrency. But there are so many other coins out there now. Ripple is one of the OGs. Like Ripple is one of the original ones. And what sets them apart is na actually maganda yung transfer rates nila. Because whenever you transfer crypto, may cost yun. You pay something to the network. That's what encourages a lot of people to help the network because you get paid also in that crypto. For example, like if you run an Ethereum node, and so you think Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is actually not a good medium to transfer value. Let's say OFW ka, you earn 1,000 USD. If you send it back by Western Union, let's say for example lang may $25 cut sila. So yung maaabot na lang dito sa mga relatives mo dito is $975 kasi you got cut by you had to pay $25 to Western Union for the transfer. One of the touted advantages of cryptocurrency is that mababa na lang yung transfer fees. But that's not true for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is actually a terrible means of transferring value. Yun nga, you have 1,000 US wherever you are, that's what you earn. You buy Bitcoin, then you send Bitcoin here sa atin. Nalugi ka na sa exchange rate, one, because you had to buy Bitcoin, so you had to pay the exchange where you bought it. And then may transfer fee pa, which is usually quite high. Yung maganda sa Ripple, mababa lang yung transfer fees niya. One of the cheapest actually that I've come across. So it's still a good deal. If you earn abroad, you want to send money back here instead of using Western Union, you could convert your money into Ripple and XRP, and then you send it via Ripple. Mababa lang yung transfer fees niya. So Ripple was one of the earlier currencies targeted by the US SEC na talagang kinasuhan nila na, hoy, security kayo, di kayo sumunod sa mga regulations namin, and we should shut you down. So what happened last week to be honest, I wasn't really monitoring it. I didn't know that they were expecting the decision. But the court handling the case, the U.S. District Court in New York handling or hearing the case, decided. And if you read the news, parang kala mo sobrang if you read the news, especially when you woke up and you're checking your prices, let's say, yun nga, and I do have Ripple here in my tracker. Oh, here it's like the third. Currently it's at 0.77. Oh, actually we can go. We can see the big jump here. So the 7-day forecast. Was it the 7-day? Saan siya tumalon like super? Oh, it's crazy times, man. Crazy times. Look at this. So you're at the ceiling here around July 13. Sorry, so it's like around 13. Yeah, around a week ago. And it jumps all the way. It jumps all the way to around 80 cents. I mean, 81 cents from around 47 cents per Ripple. So that's the hockey puck right there. So bakit nangyari? Bakit nangyari ito? The district court handling the case somewhat decided in favor of Ripple Labs. I say somewhat decided because if you track the crypto websites, the crypto news sites at the time, parang very general lang yung sinasabi nila na, nanalo si Ripple Labs, nanalo yung Ripple, and kaya sobrang tumaas. And this wasn't just isolated to crypto. This chart right here, you can see it raised all of the prices of everybody. Not so much Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin maybe went up like about 32K, then it slumped back down 30K. But the altcoins, the alternative coins, really had a field day when this news came out. Kasi sila actually yung mas matatamaan nung decision. But yun nga, if you read the decision, it was actually a split decision. So yes, on one hand, the judge said that if you're selling Ripple to individuals, hindi siya security. So that's a win, right? I mean, now the exchanges can start selling it again to people. And in fact, they did. The exchanges in the States, which removed Ripple and other crypto because they were afraid of the US SEC, with this decision na malinaw na sinasabi na hindi siya security and therefore not covered by the SEC regulations if you're selling to individuals. And there's the but right there because it was a split decision. The court found that if you're selling to institutional investors like hedge funds, banks, pensions, then it is qualified as a security. Um I haven't read the decision, to be honest. I meant to prior to this live stream, but to be honest, just ran out of time before the live stream. To be honest, I did have time, but I like now the live stream was late because I ended up playing Starship Troopers, and I blame my friend. But I am interested in reading the decision because it seems like a very odd decision to me. If you know, I'm again, as long time readers know, I'm a lawyer, and I like the things I used to do. The specific area of law I used to practice is commercial law. So actually, it's very super interesting, and that's why I'm really interested in the crypto space because it dovetails with a lot of my fascinations. Computer, I was a minor before, but also like the evolving legal and regulatory frameworks surrounding crypto. Uh yun nga, for me, it's a very like just reading the what happened. Like, oh, if you sell it to individuals, hindi siya crypto, but if you sell it to institutional investors, it is crypto. Sobrang labo nun for me. I can't understand how a court could arrive at that decision because usually the tests to determine whether something yun nga in the law, lahat naman usually may tests yun eh. Is speech can a certain speech be regulated? And I don't mean a speech like just when a politician stands up and gives a talk. It can be any speech. Like this live stream now is considered speech. Um, when can speech be regulated? There's a test for that, clear and present danger test, etc. All usually that's how judges operate. They are given tests by the Supreme Court. Like the Supreme Court is the one who says, okay, let's use this test. Kapag may problema na ganito, ito yung a-apply natin and we'll see if it passes the test. For securities, the common test is the Howey test. But yun nga, usually the test isn't in who the potential buyer is. Kaya dun, usually it's in control. So I'm really kind of surprised na the court was able to find in favor of Ripple if it's sold to individual investors like myself, like the audience out there, if you're buying into trading crypto. But if it's sold to institutional investors, security siya. Malabo yun. But yun nga, I don't want to comment. I haven't read the decision, but it's just fascinating to me that the court would arrive at that kind of decision. But anyway, the effect on the market, as you can see on our chart, is was very clear. Like only in crypto can you see some ridiculous kind of chart like this. I mean, like it's like bonkers. Oh, and it even hit. Then later on, mas tumaas pa siya lalo nung yesterday. Okay. Actually, that dovetails nicely into my next topic. But yes. So that's the reason why Ripple shot up. And that's also the reason why a lot of the coins shot up because people took hope. People were like, okay, yes. And again, to be fair to the regulators, parang sorry, not to the exchanges. Malabo din talaga yung US SEC. It's like we want you to follow our rules. And then when the exchanges say, well, what are your rules? What apply to us? Di parang, then nagiging vague na yung SEC. Ayaw niya magbigay ng rules. Kasi if you give rules, then you're gonna include people and exclude other things. Gusto lang niya, hawak niya lahat. And it's also, ganun yung mga administrative agencies eh. They want to keep expanding their jurisdiction. Kasi, so sila na yung bida doon. And with crypto, wala pang nag-regulate sa space na yun. Di sila na yung bida doon. It's like the US SEC kind of took a very proactive approach in saying that these are securities and therefore they should be under us. Kumbaga nadadagdagan yung portfolio ng agency na yun. It's another, it's an influence grab basically. So but when the exchanges say now, let us know, how ba do we comply? Wala rin. So much so that in another case, I'm not sure if it was in the Ripple case or some other case, the judge already got upset with the SEC and said na, ano ba talaga yung mga regulations that you are asking the exchanges to comply with? Because one of the arguments of the exchanges is the rules are so vague now. You're saying that you're the rule creating body, the rule issuing body, but you haven't issued any clear-cut rules for this space. So it's like the SEC is trying to have their cake and eat it too, na parang kami yung in charge dito, pero ayaw naman magbigay ng rules. How we want to comply according to the exchanges, but then how do we comply because the rules are not clear? So, ang laki ng epekto sa prices, like the prices really shot up, especially for Ripple, because one, we're starting to see like medyo may something that's very up in the air and uncertain, medyo nako-concretize na. You're starting to see judicial decisions in place na clarify nila ano, what will govern crypto regulations. So that's one, just the clarity of just the ensuing clarity in the crypto space. Albeit yun nga, we're in very early stages, but super helpful at least that na malinaw. So at least there's a judicial precedent na that you can look on and cite later on. So that's one reason why the decision was super important and why the prices reacted like that. And number two, also particularly for Ripple, they can start selling again to individuals, which the exchanges have already done. They enabled Ripple for US residents again. So the super big jump for Ripple. Not so much for Bitcoin. Bitcoin rose with everybody else around to 33, I think, or 32.5. But it has kind of slumped down again. So actually the market is in a really weird kind of space right now. But this hockey puck from Ripple is good. Kasi I'll also talk a little bit about shorting. So basically what I want to talk about today was the decision why Ripple shot up and just how my own trading has been going. Because I do trade in the crypto space. I just recently started getting back from it after crypto winter kasi sobrang bagsak talaga yung prices. It was hard to get motivated to look at crypto. But the space has been heating up again, so I've been taking an interest in it. And my problem is I trade, and I've been doing pretty well with my trades. In the green naman ako. I only have one trade so far na in the negative. Tapos sobrang late lang nung loss ko doon, like 3 US cents or something, like super small. But my big problem since coming back is that I also short. And what's a short? Basically, you're betting that the value of the currency will go down. So how you do it is that let's say you have let's say fiat currency muna tayo. Let's say $1 is currently at 55 pesos. So for every dollar, you get 55 pesos. Now, let's say I want to short the peso, meaning that I think the peso will drop in the short term. So what I do is I borrow somebody's peso. I borrow, and you can do that through the exchanges also. I borrow somebody's crypto at 55 pesos. Sorry, I borrow somebody's peso at 55 pesos. Sorry, I'm trying to think how this works out kasi may parang exchange rate pa eh. Sige, sorry. Let's not, just for a super simple example, let's not do it anymore with the 1 USD. I just want to short the peso and I am short. So the current price is 55 pesos. I short it at 55. I borrow somebody's peso, but you do need the exchange rate. Fine. I borrow somebody's peso at 55 pesos. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Okay, we have to use an exchange rate. It's $1 is worth 55 pesos. I borrow somebody's dollar when it's at 55 pesos. Yes, that's right. Then the peso drops. Let's say the peso now drops. Ah, shoot. Yes. No, that's not right. I'm super confused now. I'm trying to explain shorting, but then parang it's not ah ang hirap na may exchange rate pa involved. Sige, wait lang. Ito na lang. Let's make it like super simple. So let's say this headset is worth 30 pesos. I think the value of the headset I believe will drop. So I borrow somebody's headset at 30 pesos. Nasa akin na tong headset na to. Then the value of the headset drops to 25 pesos. I still have this I owe somebody a headset. So I buy a headset at 25 pesos and I give it back to him. I've now made 5 pesos kasi yung price difference is 5 pesos. Initially 30 siya, I borrowed it at 30. Bumaba siya. Yes. Bumaba siya and now it only costs me 25 pesos to repay something which was initially 30 pesos. So you make a 5 peso spread. So yan essentially in shorts. Sorry, I had a much better example before. And it just confuses me when the exchange rates, when when you get exchange rates involved. But that's essentially what it is. So when you're shorting something, you're predicting that it will drop in the near future. You borrow it from someone at a high price, and then when you need to repay back, when you need to give back what you borrowed, mas mura na siya. So there's a price difference involved. And you make money on that price difference. So my problem is before I was kind of good at shorting. Like I would kind of be able to predict well ano yung bababa. But like ito yung this is my chart so far for my short. Sorry, that's my trading. That's all green. That's the wrong chart. This is my actual chart for my ano so far. And you notice like it's all red. Like pretty much all red. And it's like it's hard to read on screen, but it's like $9 loss, $3 loss. Those are kind of big in relation to the amounts that I put them in. So I've tried like a whole bunch of things. Like I tried to short Solana, OMG, Atom, and I was shorting some crypto when the decision came out. So naipit ako doon. It's like, oh crap, everybody's going up. Then I had to close my position at a loss, meaning I borrowed that crypto at a price. I had to sell it. I had to borrow money. I had to buy it at a higher price. So yun nga, lost talaga yun. So my problem so far since getting back into the game has been my shorts game has been terrible. And I kind of have to admit that it's kind of like gambling. I mean, it's really high risk. Yung problema kasi sa shorts, it's not just if you're trading, the only way you can really lose is if you sell it at a loss. But there's no carrying cost. You're not spending any money to hold that crypto. Once nabili mo na yung crypto na yon, you have that crypto. With shorts kasi, yun nga, nangungutang ka. So, you get charged multiple times. You get charged when you borrow. So, there's a cost when you borrow. And there's a cost every 4 hours based on how much you borrowed to the exchange. So, in 24 hours, you get charged 6 times. And so, there's an hourly, 4 hours. So, basically, I just peg it at a daily for my computation. That's why there's a daily cost there. That's how much I'm charged daily for keeping open that position, for keeping open that short. And aside from that, there's an ending cost. Yeah, so you can see it here on screen. There's a starting cost, ending cost, and then a daily cost also. You sum all of that up, and then you somehow have to make money at the end of it all. So, but I was okay with shorts before. It's just like yun nga na. It's like I don't know. I haven't gotten the rhythm back. And so all of my shorts have been most like 75% of my shorts have been terrible shorts. Tas naipit ako. The price suddenly jumps up and like holy god, I made another mistake. But I mentioned gambling before. It's kind of like gambling. It's very high risk, but it's high return. But at the same time, because usually you think you can only make money when the market goes up. So you buy low, then you need to wait for the market to go up. But what if the market is up na? Ayaw mo na bumili kasi ayaw mo maipit doon. Bakit ka bibili ng mataas? Hihintay ka pa na kailangan umakyat pa ulit yon bago mo mabenta yon before you can make a profit. But if you think the market is high already, you can make money by betting it will go down. And that's really for me, that's my problem with shorts. I always think na bababa talaga to because that's a general sentiment. So there's been a lot of upbeat positive news in the crypto space, but a lot of the sentiment is still trending towards at least one major correction, which we'll talk about after another ad break.
Sawa ka na ba sa unactivated Windows mo? Well, lucky you! Pinakabago mula sa cdkeyoffer.com. Windows 10 and Windows 11 activation codes. Legit, safe, at pinakamura. Madali lang umorder.
Hanapin ang Windows version na gusto mo. Piliin ang preferred payment method. Wala pang 5 minutes, nagsiligi ka na para sa Windows mo.
Marami na kaming natulungan.
Dati, sudden depressed ako. But now, I found the love of my life.
Dati, aimless and walang purpose ang life ko. But now, I'm a world-class Zumba instructor.
So, web developer ako and content creator for a YouTube channel. And ngayon, ganun pa rin ako pero activated na yung Windows ko.
Kaya kung naghahanap ka ng legit, mura, at original software,
Check out cdkeyoffer.com.
Check out cdkeyoffer.com.
Check out cdkeyoffer.com. Yeah, so a lot of the experts are saying na feeling nila may isa pang big correction. Bitcoin down to 25. It's already at 30 plus K now, 25, something like that. I also think that is true. I think masyadong tumaas yung prices in such a short span of time. Usually bumabagsak yan given these kind of market situations. Also, an interesting indicator I've seen is na this is not me. Somebody else suggested it online. I kind of agree with it. Hindi tumataas yung crypto kung mataas yung Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is one of the stock exchanges in the States where a lot of the tech stocks are listed. Usually though, if you track the performance of the Nasdaq versus the performance of crypto, tumataas lang yung crypto kapag medyo stagnant or pababa yung Nasdaq. The theory being that since the Nasdaq is not doing so well, investors are looking for riskier, more potentially high risk yielding assets, which crypto is like that, diba? High risk, high return. So I don't think we're quite there yet. So there's been a lot of hype na, parang crypto's back and, mainit na ulit yung market. But I do agree that a correction is soonish. But yun nga, that's my problem. I keep shorting and I keep losing on the shorts. So this is not investment advice. Don't take my word for it. I'm just thinking out loud my own personal thoughts on why I think na babagsak yung crypto in the near future. But it's yun nga, you can still make money on that eh. And then here are my trades. So my trades look pretty green. So the three things I do with crypto is I try to short when the market is high. I buy and sell short term. So this is my short term sheet. And then there are crypto that I like to hold. When I think na may long term potential tong crypto na to, I buy it and then yun nga, I forget about it for like 6 months or something. Because I think na may long term potential to. So this is just my short term list of gains and stuff. And if you notice, most of it is pretty good. So I've pixeled out how much I've actually spent on the currencies. But you can see the currencies I bought and sold. XTC is Tezos, Algo is Algorithm, LTC Litecoin, US, XLM, Atom. Wala ngang Bitcoin or Ethereum dito eh, because those are the two big crypto talaga, Ethereum and Bitcoin. The price changes there are not that big. So if you want to kind of like yun nga, more high risk but high return, the altcoins are the way to go. So green, I made a profit. I won't give you the exact numbers, but you can see here the interest, the how much percent I gained. So my best was Algo. This was a 5.6 return in 5 days. So I bought it July 9. Here, July 9. I sold it July 14, and the return was 5.69%. So 5.69% after 5 days is pretty darn good. Litecoin 3% after 1 day. Bought it July 10, sold it July 11. That's 3.3% right there. Tried it again with LTC, Litecoin, 2 days, only a 0.39% return. Atom 1.4% return. These guys, I'm still in the low. I'm still loss pa rin ako dito. Although BAT, Basic Attention Token, OXT, I think I can sell these at a slight profit na but I'm still waiting for them to go up higher. Secret, a little bit at a loss pa, but I'm not too concerned. GMT is the first time I bought this coin. I just saw na parang bonkers yung performance. So I was like, yeah, sige, let's try a little. And ADA. Medyo malaki pa ata loss ko dito sa ADA. So these are the coins na that I'm slated, like, if they make a decent profit, benta na yan kagad because I do need working capital. But yun nga, on my sheet, like the trades itself, I'm not doing that bad. Yeah, I five point, one with a 5.6, the rest, if you can do like a 1.5% return after 2 days, that's really good already. Kasi, yun nga, magkano ba yung average savings account interest rate mo? 1.2% per annum. TD, 3%, 5%, depending where you get it. If you can do 1.5% after 2 days and you just keep doing that for the rest of the year, solve ka na. I mean, that's a great return on your money. So the trades, I'm not doing so bad. But yeah, the shorts, man, shorts are killing me. And actually, Bitcoin is below 30K right now. The market is in a weird place. Usually all the coins track Bitcoin. So kung tumaas yung Bitcoin, tataas din sila and vice versa. But there's been a lot of changes. Maker is up 14%. Yeah, so there's been, and rep looks like it gained a lot, but actually rep gained a lot, like 60-70% din ata to. Pero kasi pabagsak siya ng pabagsak eh. So I was kind of hesitant to buy into it. But yeah, the market is in a weird place right now. Bitcoin is down. But the altcoins are doing okay. So it's kind of, yun nga, parang you're not quite sure where, saan ka pupwesto. Yeah, but that's what makes crypto trading fun. And again, this is not investment advice of any fashion, but I just have to keep reminding myself that you don't need to jump on every currency. That yung ano usually ko is like, oh, sobrang tumaas na ito, siguro babagsak to. I mean, I have to keep telling myself na relax. You don't need to jump on every currency that glows red hot and then jump on the short train. I got burned with Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Litecoin is supposed to have a halving by August. Basically, the amount of reward to miners gets halved. So instead of 50 Litecoin or something, now you only get 25. But if you look, and a lot of people think that, tataas yung value of the currency that's being halved. Bitcoin also goes through periodic halvings. It's built into the system. For Litecoin, if you look at the history, usually actually the price decreases after the halving. So you might want to take that into consideration if you're thinking of investing in Litecoin. And yeah, so that was about it for... Oh, sorry guys. Akala ko, why is chat not showing? Yeah, sorry, the chat's not showing. So akala ko walang nagchat. But hello, Iverson. Sup, Larry Bone? Carrion. Paul Reed like. Oh, sup, Pesto? Francis. Chook's Cradle. Yes, they're paper gains in the sense that I trade on Kraken, so that's a US exchange. So the my primary I'm liquid in dollars. Kumbaga, when I sell a crypto, and I buy a crypto, I use dollars. So they are dollars there. And yes, but yes, they're basically useless to me for on a practical level until I can somehow get them here, or withdraw them if I go to the States if I had the means of doing so. So it's true that the money is locked with the exchange, but they're not paper gains. It's a paper gain if you're holding a crypto, the value went up, and it's a paper gain because you haven't realized the increase, the appreciation in value, and you can have a paper loss. But this one, these are realized gains because I changed them I sold them for fiat. So I realized the gain. Um, but if you mean it in the more general sense that they're kind of useless to me because they're in dollars in a US exchange, yes, that's true. I would still need them somewhere else. Why is my chat not working? Like, why can't you see? Wait, I'm gonna try something. Hi. Um, I guess the chat window is broken. Why? Here. Oh, that kind of sucks. One of the highlights of using the service is that that the chat appears here. Sorry guys, actually I didn't have my chat bar on. So akala ko walang nag-chat kasi walang lumalabas dito. And to be honest, I was kind of sad about that. Usually we do have a very lively chat. Oh, I'm gonna highlight. Oh, so I can still highlight. Hindi lang lumalabas yung yung message threads. Thank you for being a Hardware Sugar customer. I like crypto over stocks because their cycle is shorter. The boom bust cycle. Sobrang tataas sila, sobrang babagsak. With stocks kasi they usually take a longer time to recover. And also I'm more knowledgeable about crypto than specific stocks. I don't follow the local stock exchange. I don't follow the Dow Jones or the S&P or the Nasdaq. But certain coins, like you get a feel for the numbers eh. Parang you're watching just watching the prices go. Ito mataas na to for this crypto. Or Ethereum might lose value because they're currently going through a transition phase with whatever, the technical stuff behind it. So yeah, two reasons. One, I like the roller coaster of crypto. I like it that the recovery times are usually shorter. Although yun nga, nakaka-atake sa puso when the price drops like a rock. But it makes me feel at least na if I put it in crypto and I make a mistake in the sense na nalugi ako, paper loss pa lang din yun eh. And I can wait for the price to go up and then sell. And also yun nga, I think I'm more knowledgeable about crypto rather than stocks. Like I wouldn't know which companies to invest in. Like the Philippine Stock Exchange, you got the blue chips like PLDT. Hate PLDT actually. Their service stinks. So I wouldn't invest in them just on a personal level. That's yun, parang personal reasons get involved pa. But yeah, you have the blue chips. I don't know how much I wouldn't be able to get a 5% return. Like again, going back to my trade with Algo, I wouldn't be able to make a 5% return in 5 days with any stocks that I know of. And so that's why I'm in crypto. All right. So that's basically the news I wanted to tackle for this episode. Oh, sup, Leah Magnaye? You see, chat's not appearing here for some reason. I hope Restream fixes this. But anyway, yeah. So thanks for joining me for another episode of Cryptowatch. If you're trading, I hope you buy low, sell high. Watch out for those shorts. Just other people who are interested in the channel, we do have more content tomorrow. I'm gonna be live from the shop, so that's another live stream. And then on Sunday, we have a video I can't remember if it's a Terra Master NAS or it is Price Watch episode for this month. But yeah, we have a real schedule going on this weekend, stretching over to next week. So have a good weekend, guys. I'm actually gonna go offline now and look at stocks. Like if I, I mean, sorry, crypto. If there's anything here that I wanna jump into, because I haven't been able actually to check the market today. Yun. So have a good evening. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Oh, and our podcast also dropped this morning. If you are interested in why Elon Musk wants to fight Mark Zuckerberg. See you guys.